Welcome to How to Survive, the show that teaches you how to survive the stuff that can kill you.
Like air pollution, or Hurricane Milton, or creepy husbands.
And the stuff that just makes you wish you were dead.
Like being double booked, or fishing with chicken.
It's my favorite podcast.
Or deception.
Ooh, yeah, that's a tough one.
Bad.
You know what would...
Yeah, something about turning a phrase into something else.
Yeah, let's relax with a little music.
How about our theme song?
Perfect.
Sounds good. That was great.
Ground is shaking under our feet. Mountains on fire, flooding in the street. Can't breathe the air, can't fight the feeling. Gobbling down Xanax ain't the way to be dealing. Gotta do better than just getting high. We gotta stick together if we're gonna survive. How to survive. How to survive.
Shalom.
Shalom, how are you?
Good.
Good.
How about you?
Well, a little caffeine mismanagement.
Oh, no.
From last night or starting today?
Yesterday,
What happened? Tell us everything.
I had a tea, and then a few hours later, I had a mini Diet Coke, and fuck me.
Oh,
Can't
no.
sleep. Yeah.
So
Just a little
what
frustrated.
made you think
'Cause
that you could
sometimes
have
I
a mini
can.
Diet Coke?
Because sometimes I can, and there's no problem. So
Danielle, in what world,
I know.
as Benjamin would say,
In what world?
did you think? What made you feeling so celebratory?
I know. Sometimes I'm too big for my britches.
You got so excited.
And I think I'm going to treat myself with a little Diet Coke.
yeah.
and then-
you had a little baby Diet Coke.
Little baby Diet Coke, and then can't sleep.
The
Just
size,
like a baby.
it was like the size of an LOL doll's Diet Coke, right? It was like this
Yes.
small. It was a little mini tiny Diet Coke. You clicked it open. I went to Malibu
Yeah.
with my family. The far part of Malibu. Like,
yeah.
not just over the border into Malibu, but like deep, deep, deep into Zuma Beach,
Okay.
which is far.
Yeah.
Like,
It is.
It took like an hour and a half to get there.
Oh my God.
And of course, we had to stop and charge the car because, and we were already getting there, like, we weren't going to get there till 4.
Why were you doing this?
Benji wanted to go fishing and kind of talked Sven into taking him to the beach. And then it was kind of like, well, why don't we take the dog? And she's never been to the ocean. And
And there's a dog-friendly beach in Malibu.
And we'll find a dog-friendly beach. There's kind of a bunch of dog-friendly beaches, but it was like, well, let's find one where he can also fish.
Okay.
And then Alex had a sleepover, so we'll say, okay, we'll take the girls, and we'll make a beach day.
Okay.
We don't go to the beach that often,
But you're not getting there till 4.
we don't have our shit together.
And it's probably freezing at this point.
Guess what? We looked at the forecast. It said it was going to be 80, and it was
4?
well in the afternoon.
Okay.
So we didn't think we were going to get there that late.
Gotcha.
But also it was like I had to run over and pick Alex up, and this girl, it's a long story. Doesn't matter. We don't have our shit together.
All right.
Okay. And I didn't know how much fishing gear I was going to have to pack in the back of the car. That's why we had to take the bigger car, Sven's car.
okay.
Because Benji comes down with a fucking wagon full of stuff to take. I thought, okay, he's going to have a fishing pole. No. He has a fishing pole.
Yeah.
And a backpack full of gear. And
Rocks.
3 nets. So it's like,
Why do you need 3 different nets? Okay.
wouldn't I love? We have to have him on to find out.
Okay.
But they're 3 different. One is the one you hold in your hand. The second is a bigger one. The third is like the size of this table. It is like he's going to catch an orca.
Oh my God.
It's so big.
The third just drops from a tree and captures who's ever beneath it, and they can't get out.
Yes, it's like that size of a net.
Okay.
It's like the kind of net that falls in, the Three Musketeers movie.
Right.
And then Annie has a trap. His trap.
He's going to get lobsters?
Yep. Yes.
Is that possible?
Yeah.
Don't you have to leave them for hours and stuff? Okay, all right. This is the fantasy of a
Yes.
of a 12-year-old. All right.
And his trap and 2 tackle boxes.
Oh my
So
God.
we're loading all this up, and I'm taking towels, the stuff for the dog, extra bathing suits, whatever, goggles, and I'm just like, oh my God, are we ever leaving? Then he's like, Sven's like, well, I don't have enough charge to get there. So then we have to stop in Moore Park to charge the car. And there's a line because there's not enough fucking chargers, as you know.
Unless you have a Tesla.
Unless you have a Tesla, of course.
Right.
So I just want to put a plea out because I know the government is listening.
Yeah.
Get your shit together with the chargers.
Right.
Okay. Anyway, so we're waiting in line. And their girls are like, can we go to Starbucks? We have gift cards. And Benji's like, can I go into Vaughn's and get some tackle or some bait? And I say,
Okay, so this is a part of the story I don't understand. Because she texted me this. And I'm like, what? Are you in Mayberry? What do you mean you're going to go and get bait at a grocery store?
so I say, yeah, go ahead. Because I think, he's just going to go get a little container of worms.
But you thought they had that at Vaughn's?
Yeah, why not? They have it.
Why not? What do you mean, why not? You think they have live worms in a jar at Vaughn's? It's just like a chain grocery store.
Well, they
Come
do
out
it.
with a bunch of tequila.
They do.
That's all they have.
They do at Walmart.
They do?
They do at Walmart. Yes.
That kind of doesn't shock me though.
That
Walmart.
and I guess I just wasn't. I don't know. I hadn't had lunch, so he comes out with this big, giant bag, and I go, "What is in there?" He goes, "My bait," and I look in the bag. It's a huge pound of shrimp and a whole chicken.
What the hell is he fishing
He's
for?
going to catch an alligator.
Yeah, I was like, "Are you gonna get a great white?"
Jaws.
Yeah,
That's
catch
what's
a
with
human.
the big net. A human.
So
He's catching Homer
Except
Simpson.
the most dangerous game.
we have no ice.
Right.
You know, so he just puts it in the back with the rest of the stuff. I mean, Sven can't even see out the back window. Oh my God. It's so packed. So we get to the beach finally. It's freezing.
Of course it is.
It's freezing. It's
Of
like
course it is.
London fog. The wind is whipping. I'm like, I have like this long sleeve shirt to keep me warm. And Sven was like, oh, I should have brought a long sleeve shirt.
Jesus
So
God.
he and guys, Benjamin are wrapped in towels. The girls are swimming in the ocean because
wow.
they just don't feel it.
Amazing.
I
Good.
know.
Okay, so they had fun.
They had fun.
Well, they were all hot from their Starbucks.
Yes. And Benjamin is just already mad because there's no pier. Oh, there's no pier.
Yeah, so how was he going to fish?
How am I supposed to? Well, a lot of people do fish from the shore.
They do?
Yeah, shore fishing at the ocean, but he doesn't like that kind of fishing. It's too windy. I'm not going to catch anything. I can't even cast. It's so windy. So he's trying to cast. He's really mad. Wow, he's so angry, and he keeps losing his bait. And then,
You mean the raw chicken?
well, he's not using that yet
Okay.
because there's no pier. So he's trying to cast from shore, you know, make the best. I'm like, just try to make the best of it, Benjamin. And he's like, this wasn't the day I even wanted.
Oh.
Because he wanted to
get
just
it.
go with Sven and go to a pier. This pod of dolphins comes up there. It's like
What?
4 feet away. It's like right on the shore, basically. They're really in the shallow water.
Are they
Beautiful.
supposed to be there?
I don't know.
Because of the...
They, you know, in Malibu, they come right up.
They do? I don't know.
They let
okay.
you do it. They,
They let
You can do whatever.
Because they're famous.
And they're like playing, and their tails kick up in the water.
What?
They're doing like dances for. I mean, it's like Cirque du Soleil of dolphins. It's beautiful.
You're saying like you could walk in and they would be right there.
Yes,
Like
basically
3 feet.
maybe 4 feet.
Okay.
But they're very close.
Okay.
So I'm like, Benji, look at the dolphins. And he's like, I just lost my weight on my fishing pole. Like, he does not care at all. It's like they're performing for
Amazing.
him a show. And,
And
he's
he
just
doesn't
like,
give a fuck.
I don't want to be here. We're all like taking videos and trying to get the dolphins. And he's like,
Oh my God.
just stomping away. So we took him. We took him to Malibu
So he didn't
Pier.
catch anything.
No, we did let him go to. We made another stop on our way back at Malibu Pier, and he went to the pier.
Oh, okay.
And he got to put his whole chicken in his trap and lower it down.
Wait a second.
Oh, that's
He put an entire chicken in a trap.
Yeah,
But then how do I don't really know.
I guess
how.
crabs. Here's my understanding. I could be wrong. My husband will correct me.
Okay.
If he listens to this, I think he will. That like then the crabs go into the trap to try to get the chicken,
Right.
and then he gets the crab. Then he traps
And
the
do
crabs.
crabs eat chicken? I mean, obviously
Yes.
it's not natural to them.
I guess this is how he's
a special treat.
yes.
he's learned this maybe from other fisher folk.
Okay.
When he's watched
Oh, okay.
others, or
So he didn't just make this up.
no, he didn't just make this up. He watches a lot of fishing shows, and he watches other fisher people when he Fisher Price when he
people.
goes to the pier. He sees what they do and how they, he's always paying attention.
So how many crabs did he trap?
0. He lost the chicken immediately because the top is open.
Right, so that they can get in.
And then they just took it and left. Like, thanks.
Oh, someone went in and got it, or did it just float up?
I think a crab just took it, or something. I don't know.
I'm trying
Shark.
to figure out how when it just float up when it's submerged in water. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. We didn't have a GoPro to kind of.
Or maybe the weight of the water keeps.
We should just attach a GoPro to it so we can see what happens.
So he was pissed. He did not have a good day.
He was happier after that because at least he got to go to the pier and fish in the way he meant to.
Right.
But yes, nothing was caught.
Oh my God.
And
amazing.
Let's talk about our reception.
Are you okay? Did you just have a stroke?
I think I just lost time. Maybe
are you someone doing?
I hope my husband isn't putting sleeping pills in my food and drink. All right. So today, guys, we're going to talk about a sexy little subject called deception.
Ooh.
Now, deception and lying are not the same thing.
Okay.
Lying is a form of deception.
All right.
But a deception is like an umbrella term that can cover a lot of different kinds of wrongdoings, okay?
Okay.
So stretching facts, storytelling, concealing the truth, misleading a person, all there's
omitting things.
Yes, you got it. All of those can fall under the umbrella of deception.
Okay.
It's all harmful to your relationships because you're violating a person's trust.
Yeah.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about some kinds of deception, okay? White lie, that's a mild form, right?
Right.
That's a little, it's like a baby kind of deception.
I didn't have time to pick up the cereal. Sorry.
Yes, because you really just don't want to hear your husband eating it.
Yes.
The sugar crunching between his teeth. So we do this with our partners from time to time, right? Like, oh, I love the slippers you got me. I can't wait to wear them for the rest of my life. But when those lies, those white lies, go past the trying to protect your partner from hurting their feelings, right, into the more serious offenses, like gaslighting, cheating, then you need to take a hard look at yourself in the mirror, Danielle.
Yeah.
Garen.
Too many cheating.
Too many cheating.
Too many cheating.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
What did you mean to say?
Too much cheating, I guess. I guess
Too
I
much
just used the
cheating.
wrong.
Oh.
Too many cheating.
Too many cheats.
Too many cheating.
I think I do that in Spanish all the time, by the way. I think I screw up mas and mucho, so I probably have said too many
cheating.
Too many cheating. Too many traffic.
If you suspect your partner is acting a little off, you might wonder what steps you can take. We here at How to Survive, I've got my finger in the air right now, are here to help. We're going to explore why people deceive, what it might look like, and how it can hurt your relationships. Okay, so some types of deception, okay? So we talked about white lies. Maybe you pretend to like your partner's annoying friend or the music they like or like a show they like. You got to sit through American Pickers because it's their favorite show.
I used to like that. That guy just died.
Oh, he was pretty young, right?
Yeah, I was only in his 50s or something.
Okay, so, white lies are a little bit the foundation of a marriage.
Sure.
It's kind of like you
Yeah.
got to keep the peace, right?
I was of age when we got married. Things like that.
Then there's outright lying, though. Maybe you say you're working late when you're really having a beer with your friends. But also, for me, I'd be like, why can't you just say you're having a beer with your friends? You should be able to do that. But what if your friends are sex workers?
Yeah.
That's different, right? And it's not a beer, it's meth.
And they're not your friends, they're your
Customers. Okay, so you're lying to avoid conflict or scrutiny, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's a bigger problem. Or what if you're concealing finances?
Oh,
Okay,
yes.
so money, that's a tough thing to talk about in relationships. They talk about that being one of the major reasons people get divorced, money problems, money lies. it's a tough thing to talk about in relationships because there's shame attached to debt, there's shame attached to spending habits. Financial deception is very common among couples, research shows. Another type of deception is embellishing our backgrounds. People often do this to impress in a new romance, right? Have you ever online dated? Danielle, you haven't, right? Garen, you have.
Yes.
So you're on the apps.
Yes.
So I assume people are still exaggerating about themselves a little bit, or maybe people lie about their age, or they.
I'm sure. Yeah, I mean.
Which is sort of ironic. Well, I don't know if ironic's the right word, but is it so easy to prove now?
Once you meet up.
Well, I mean, just you can Google anything. You can find anything about anyone. So to lie seems a little silly. Like they're going to find. I mean, I guess if it's a major thing, maybe not. It's
also hard though. I mean, I think the idea of getting mad sort of if the pictures are better. I remember people always saying like, please don't post your, a picture that isn't what you look like. But it's also like hard for us as humans to realistically understand our most accurate version of ourselves. Because, I mean, vanity, I think, dictates we're going to put a really good picture of ourselves, and it's maybe not going to be exactly what we look like all the time. But it's like, well, I like this one. Yeah. Because that's what I think I look like. I think that's unrealistic to think that we're not going to put our best picture.
Just take a picture where you're like crossing your eyes and sticking out your tongue.
Yes.
And say, this isn't my best picture. Wait till you see what I really look like.
Exactly. This is still, okay, sorry. I just lost my mojo. All right. Some people, they just make up stories out of thin air.
Yeah.
Right? That's a pretty wild way to lie. Some people do it maybe to get sympathy, like, oh, I have, remember the woman from Grey's Anatomy who pretended to have cancer?
Yeah.
That whole story was crazy.
That was banana times.
So people do it in that way to like get people to feel sorry for them. Other people do it to impress. Like, you think about these crazy famous stories like Lance Armstrong who lied. James Frey lied in his book. Brian Williams, remember his I was on the helicopter.
That was so weird.
Stuff like that is...
That lady who said she was there on 9/11.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't even in the state, I don't think, or whatever.
Oh, that documentary. Yeah.
Yeah, the people pretending to be part of tragedies. Like, all that kind of stuff is wild. Danielle, you mentioned earlier, lies of omission, right? This is the opposite. So we might not share damning information about ourselves with a partner that they need to be told, right? It's like people who don't tell you they have an STD. Right? Or maybe that they're on a list for something.
Ooh, I omitted to tell you that I've been drugging you and inviting strange men over to have sex with you.
Absolutely, right?
I didn't lie. I just didn't tell you.
Tell you. Like, I mean, I want to know if you're on that, if you're doing that. Okay, here's another way you can do it. A deception. Cover up your lies, right? So maybe this is when you tell a lie or you mislead your partner, and then you go to great lengths to cover it up. Right? I was trying to think of a good example, and I was wondering if like this was like Hilaria Baldwin pretending to be Spanish. Like where she maybe did that on a first date with Alec Baldwin, and then she just had to keep up the ruse.
Yes.
Because she was like,
so complicated.
This is only going to be a date. I'm not going to see this guy again.
There's no way this movie star is going to be interested in me.
Yeah, I'm a yoga instructor. And then it turns out 5 kids later, and she's still having to have a Spanish accent.
And not remember the word for cucumber.
Yes. I don't know. How do you say cucumber? Withholding emotions. So this form of deception is when you're not really telling your partner the truth about how you feel about things.
Okay.
You're in an argument and you're really mad at the person, but you just are like, I'm fine, and stomp away. I mean, I think sometimes you have to do that just because you're not ready to talk about stuff. I don't know if that's necessarily deception.
Or you just kind of be like, if something's bothering you and most of the time you talk about it, but you're like, I'm just going to keep this one to myself.
Sometimes there are things you just shouldn't say.
Yeah.
Too. And that's not necessarily deception. All right. We're going to get to some big ones now. Okay. So hold on to your panties. Bad habits. Hiding use of substances like alcohol or drugs.
Yeah.
Or other bad habits like gambling, shopping addictions, those kind of things. That can really be a big one. Cheating. This can be emotional or physical affairs outside of our relationship. Some people don't think emotional affairs are cheating, but I think they fall under the category of cheating.
Yeah, you mean like if you have a work husband or something and you're like confiding.
Sharing like your real emotional stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I don't think a close friendship is the same as an emotional affair. I mean, I think you
Yeah.
can have a close friendship with an opposite sex person or same sex, depending on who you're attracted to.
Right.
But like, I think there's a difference, right?
I guess you would know it if you're in it.
You would know it if you're in it, and your partner would probably know it by how uncomfortable they are by it. Like, it's
Yeah.
also like if your partner's really uncomfortable with it, you should probably take a look at it.
Right.
Gaslighting. Okay, so deception can also include gaslighting, right? Mm-hmm. So this is where we manipulate our partners and cause them to doubt themselves. But, if you want to gaslight, you got to have that oldie-timey house with the lights.
Yeah, you got to be able to dim it.
Yeah, and you got to have that.
You have to at least have a dimmer on your switch.
Yeah.
To replicate the gaslighting.
I don't think it's that hard to get dimmers installed.
I just take whoever down to downtown San Diego.
Oh, that's a good idea.
The gaslight
Do it
district.
over
Yeah.
again. Sets the
Whenever
vibe.
you're ready to start gaslighting, you say, "Hey, you want to take a trip?"
Is that what it's named for? People just go there and like make people think other things. We're not in San Diego.
Make people think they're losing their
We're not
minds.
We're in
San
Taipei. What is wrong with you?
Oh, that is a big one.
Well, if you're gonna go big.
Why do people deceive their partners?
why?
Okay, lots of reasons. Some are pretty easy to guess. Some of it we've kind of covered in going through, but I'm going to just run through some reasons. Avoid conflict, right?
Yep.
Right? Of course I paid the health insurance. We're all still covered.
Oh my God,
right?
that's a big one.
You don't want to own up to the fuck up.
Yeah.
So you just lie. Preserve our self-image, right? We want to look good in our partner's eyes, right? I mean, most people do. Sometimes I see people out in public and I think, that person does not care. They are not even trying to look good for their partner at all. But what if you suspect you are being deceived, but you aren't sure? This is how we're going to help you survive.
Okay.
So here are some signs your partner may be deceiving you. 1, unexplained behavior changes. Your partner's suddenly doing some things different, right? Like,
Yeah.
oh, they're going to the gym, working out all the time.
Yeah.
They're trimming their nose hairs and their ear hairs and really looking fine.
Taking a interest in their appearance.
Unusually.
Yeah.
Inconsistent stories. You're catching them in a lie about where they've been or who they've been with. Things don't seem to be adding up. Okay? How about some defensive reactions? So like they respond to an innocent situation or question with a disproportionately defensive reaction. You know, like, why are you asking me how long I was at pickleball for?
Right.
Why you up my ass, lady?
Right. It's like you were in my house.
Yep. I was being Jimmy just now.
That's right.
Or maybe I was being you,
Oh,
right?
who knows?
Who knows? Guarded privacy. Okay, so suddenly they're super protective of their phone or their laptop. They're not leaving them unguarded or out of their sight for even a minute. They may even change some of their passwords without letting you know.
Oh boy.
Right? You don't get to have their passwords anymore. Radio silence. They occasionally disappear and you can't reach them by phone or message, even though you know they look at their phone constantly.
Yeah, I think that would be a problem.
You know, you can't seem to get a hold of them for large chunks of time.
Right.
It's like, wait, I know you always are like this with your phone.
Yeah.
Why can't I get a hold of you? Fluctuating intimacy.
Which reminds me.
Yes.
I have a joke about you in my head.
Yes.
That I've never shared with you.
Please.
That Chris, see, her phone always says, I'm on Do Not Disturb. You can't contact me right now. Like, it seems like all the time.
Oh, it says that?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But Chris will text me and then I'll text her back. And my joke in my head is that as soon as she texts me, she throws the phone away. She just like send and then throws the phone across the room because I never hear back for like hours. I'm like, you just fucking texted me. Why am I not? Wait, what happened between the 10 seconds ago when you? Well, I'm answering your question.
I do because what I do. Can I tell you why this
Yes.
happens? So I kind of like have a thing where I make chunks of time where I take a break from writing, right? Because I'm working on a novel.
Right.
And I'll be like, now I get to reward myself
Yes.
by taking a break from it. And that's when I'll be like, okay, send your text to your friends, or like do some things from your to-do list. So then I'll do the things on my to-do list, which are like sending a text to you or other people or stuff for the school or the kids.
Gotcha.
And then I go right back to my work.
But where's your phone?
I turn it off and I put it away because I don't want to be distracted by it.
Okay.
Because
All right.
then I would literally never get a word written.
I see.
So
Okay,
then-
so that's smart.
Then it's out of my sight. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I like my visual better though. That you just
Yes,
chuck it
it
into
is
the
funnier.
ocean as soon as you
I
finish.
throw it. I throw it. Fluctuating intimacy. They may suddenly be much more affectionate toward you. Oh yeah, because they're getting it on the side.
Yeah, so you think they wouldn't be more affectionate?
Well,
but
they-
they feel guilty.
Or they may withdraw from you physically and emotionally.
Oh, okay.
So you don't, it could be either or could be both. I don't know. That's a weird one. Gut feelings. You just have a feeling in your gut that something's wrong. And
Don't
they're not being
ignore
up front with you. Yeah. Something seems off, even if you're not quite sure what it is. I have a broken gut, so this one isn't really good for me because I'm always like, I think everyone's cheating on me because I have trust issues.
Have you tried probiotics?
You know what? I do drink those little Yakult.
Yeah,
Yeah. Those,
that should.
I
Does
think
that
they've
repair your
helped.
gut?
yeah, and a lot of therapy. Evasive body language. Your partner's body language seems sketchy. They don't meet your eyes. They turn their body away from you, fidget constantly, or touch their face a lot while talking. That also sounds like they might have ADHD.
Well, I think there is one of those things where like, oh, touching your face means you're lying. I think it's just one of those psychological
You're right.
truisms.
And isn't there the other one where it's like if they look up and to the left when they
you're
answer a
making it up.
question?
Yeah,
I can't
like
remember.
one way is remembering and one way is making it up.
I can't remember which is
I can't
which.
either.
But when we become police detectives, we'll
Yes.
we'll have it memorized.
Yes,
I think that's going to be our next gig.
I think so.
I just don't want to be a patrol officer first. I want to, because I don't want to.
You don't want to do the leather. What is it called?
I'll do the leather. I don't know what that means, but I like it.
When you're
I know you
shoe
won't. but they-
leather. When you're like,
on the beat.
Yeah.
I don't want to be on the beat. Like I don't want to go.
you
in,
want to be a detective.
I just want to solve crimes.
Yeah.
Like I just want to do the.
You don't want to be in a uniform. You don't want to
Yes.
be a uniform cop.
I want
You
to
want to be a detective.
I want to go straight to a pantsuit.
with your badge on a lanyard around
Yes.
your neck.
I want to go straight to Benson and Stabler.
Yeah.
I want to be Olivia Benson.
Right.
My hair's almost to the length. In season 5.
She's had a lot of different
I know.
lengths. So
Season 5, I think,
Season 5 is when she cut
is
it short.
is like about here. Like I think I'm close.
I think you are.
Yeah, I want to be in a nice like pantsuit,
Mm-hmm.
like not pantsuit, but I feel like I
No,
can.
you have to wear a pantsuit if you're on.
All right,
if you're-
pantsuit,
yeah.
fine, and a well-fitted blouse. And I just want to be. Well, she's kind of on the beat. I don't want to be on the beat. I just want to be doing detective work.
No, she's a detective.
Yeah, she's a
Not
detective
on the beat. The beat means you're
in a cruiser, like going.
walking up down the street with a billy club, twirling it and whistling.
Yeah, and you have one of
Irish
those tall
accent.
hats.
Yeah, and you speak in an Irish accent. That's
Yeah.
being on the beat.
I don't think I could, and I'm not good at accents. You can do the talking because you're really good at
Can't do
accents.
Irish. I don't think I can do Irish.
Yeah, but you could look Irish
What?
because I am, and we kind of have a
No,
similar
I can't-
look.
I don't look.
Yeah, dark-haired Irish.
Never been accused of. No, it's not.
Are you Irish?
It's not in my pantheon of what I've
I've never been accused of being
being
Irish.
what I've been accused.
I'm
of
saying
looking like.
if you said it, people wouldn't go, "No, you're not." Dark Irish like me. That's what I am.
Okay,
Okay, so we're detectives,
Right.
in our next life,
Right.
And we'll know the difference.
Yeah.
just bringing it up full circle
Got
of
it.
the which way people look when we're interviewing them.
right.
Okay, so we got evasive body language, altered communication patterns, okay? So they're going to avoid certain topics, becoming vague, distant, and dismissive when you bring them up, you know? Like, so if you're like, hey, how's your friend Leslie from work doing since her divorce? What? Who? What? Leslie?
I don't even know who you're talking about.
Fucking, I never even look at her.
Yeah.
Hesitant responses. They hesitate before responding, pausing to choose their words carefully before they reply. Well, see, that's tricky because my husband does that with every single thing.
He pauses before he replies.
He's so slow. You know, he's German, and even
Does
though,
that mean slow?
no? it's just that English is his second language.
Oh, okay, that
and
makes sense.
He's also kind of a careful person, like thoughtful. And so sometimes I'll just be like, come on, let's go.
Okay.
I don't think it's...
I think it's if the behavior changes. If he's always been like that, then
if he got fast,
then you'd
I'd have to worry.
right.
Here we get to the big bad news. Your partner has deceived you.
Okay.
Okay? Do you want some strategies?
Sure.
Okay. This is according to verywellmind.com. First, we're going to prioritize open and honest communication. All right? So express your feelings, right? You got to tell them how you feel about it. Listen to your partner's perspective. Obviously, this depends on the situation. If it's like the French guy, Mr. I think it's Pellicot. I don't know how it's pronounced. Pellico. Like, are you married? Do you have kids? What are the stakes here, right?
Right.
This is, I think, dependent on the situation. Practice radical honesty with each other and work together to create new communication practices that are emotionally safe for both of you and free of blame, shame, and judgment. Right? I would say, personally, get a licensed and trained mental health professional to help you with this.
Yeah.
Right? Get a good one. Get a recommendation from a friend. All right. All of this. All right. This is the next one. Give them a chance. Give your
Depends on what this deception was.
I agree. Let them earn your trust again. You have to give them a chance to earn your trust again, okay? So give your partner the opportunity to prove their trustworthiness by showing up for you and meeting your needs in small ways and progressively up the ante over time. That's a tough one, right?
Well, or you can take advantage of the niceness and the flowers and the jewelry as you file divorce papers.
Absolutely. Yeah. You don't have to stay, like, no one here is saying stay with somebody who's done
we're
bad
not
things.
talking just about cheating. There could be other deceptions.
There are lots of, I mean, it could be like financial, it could be there's so many, like,
sometimes they go hand in hand.
Sometimes they go hand in hand. There are many kinds of deception. Okay, be patient. It takes time, and patience is crucial. Rebuild the emotional connection. Okay, so prioritize quality time together and engage in activities that bring you closer together. Not making meth. Okay,
No.
He needs to get out of that business. All right, forgiveness. Forgiveness takes time and effort, okay? But it's eventually important to be able to forgive your partner, okay? Feel your feelings of hurt. Don't rush it. But allow it as a possibility in your mind for the future, right? So, because that's an important step to healing. I'm not going to say, they didn't say this, but I'm going to say, you don't have to forget.
Yeah.
Nobody's saying you have to forget.
You also don't have to forgive, do you?
I think
Is that supposed to be better for you if you forgive? Is that the
I think
premise?
it's better for both of you. Like, if you're going to hold on, like, because it's,
if you stay together.
yeah, if you stay together. If you don't, then you can hold that little nugget of anger and resentment forever.
Right.
But I don't know how it serves you, really.
Right.
Hey, what do you think? Do you want to hear a story?
Yes.
All right. So, I mean, we already did tell a pretty great story at the beginning.
Yeah, but that will probably be cut out for the
Pretty
main.
dark. So I'm going to talk to you about Anna, okay?
Delphi?
Nope.
Delphi?
Delphi. Not her.
Okay.
This is a different Anna. In February 2019, Anna, a finance professional in her 50s, joined the dating website Zoosk. She had been single for 4 years, recovering from an incredibly difficult abusive marriage. I was finally ready to meet someone, she says. So when she met Andrew, a handsome Bulgarian food importer living in London, she was thrilled. The pair were soon spending hours talking on the phone each day. Anna was smitten. He showered me with love and affection, she says. If you imagine candy floss, I was the stick and he was the sugar wrapped around me.
Oh, that's what they call cotton candy.
I felt as though I was floating. Yeah, these are Brits.
Yeah.
They made plans to meet up, but Andrew told her he had to go to France for an urgent business trip.
Oh, boy.
They continued to speak on the phone and also occasionally on video chat. So she has seen him on video chat. About 5 weeks after they first made contact, Andrew asked to borrow money, just a small amount. He told me he had a work crisis and needed help with port charges for a delivery. He was so distressed by the unexpected charge, I felt sorry for him. Anna thought Andrew was her perfect man. Now she believes he was a character invented by a criminal gang to extort her. Okay. There's a bunch of stuff about, okay, here we go. Things soon got worse for Anna. Andrew's request began to snowball. He told her his daughter was unwell, that she had died, and that he desperately needed money for repatriation and funeral costs. Anna checked the charges were legitimate before sending money directly to a funeral services company in France.
What do you mean check them that they were legitimate?
I don't know, but
Okay.
she was sending the money directly to a funeral company.
Gotcha. Not just to him. Okay.
Whenever she became suspicious, Andrew assuaged, am I saying that right?
Yes.
Her fears. I'd be sucked back into his all-powerful love bubble. I was also getting receipts for many things, and he constantly had an explanation for me. The following year, Andrew had more unpaid charges on his shipping containers. Then, in March 2021, remember, this is also during the pandemic. People are so lonely,
Yeah.
right? And she had come out of an abusive, terrible marriage.
And more reason not to see them in person.
Yes. Everything got more serious. He told her he had been taken hostage by loan sharks and was being tortured. I was absolutely distraught. He said he was being stripped and beaten and sent me pictures of
But I
his...
still have my phone.
I was absolutely distraught. He said he was being stripped and beaten and sent me pictures of his broken arm. He was locked in a room with no windows. In the summer...
It's still at his phone.
Yeah, still at his phone. We'll let you call this woman you're dating after we break your
You're
arm.
casually dating.
In the summer of 2021, when Andrew claimed he was still being held hostage, Anna asked a French Facebook group if anyone had seen him. One reply astonished her. A woman contacted me and told me the man I'd posted a picture of was Juan Soler, an Argentinian-Mexican actor. She tried to explain I'd been scammed, but I couldn't believe it. Anna confronted Andrew, but he said he could explain and made me question how I could doubt him. Anna's new Facebook friend, meanwhile, spent months trying to convince Anna to call action fraud. I pointed out that we'd had video calls, but she told me he'd been using technology to superimpose a moving image.
Oh.
Despite the mounting evidence against Andrew, Anna didn't want to be responsible for his death at the hands of loan sharks if he was telling the truth. By the time she had been convinced to sever ties with him in October this year, she had lost 350,000. What is it in euro?
Pounds.
Pounds. Thank you. I had spent the year completely unstable, trapped in this abusive cycle. I'd become obsessed with preventing his pain. After ending the relationship, she cried for weeks. It felt like losing a husband that I loved with every inch of my heart and soul. I was never going to get any closure or say goodbye. Anna has now reported Andrew to action fraud. The situation is under investigation. So the article goes on and shares two other stories and talks about how these scammers use love bombing and target people who are lonely and people who have certainly come out of already emotionally abusive situations. But how the pandemic has also made this so much easier for these scammers to thrive. And because of the technology making them able to sort of superimpose faces, they can do video chats.
That I didn't realize.
To be able to do video chatting, and that it's really so much easier because the people they're targeting are older who aren't as aware of this ability, and it makes them easier to scam people. And it's really, really sad. I mean, this is a really interesting article. I can put it in the newsletter because the other stories are also really fascinating. But this level of deception is how much money they're taking from people.
For years.
Yeah. Be careful if you're online and don't trust people. Do not ever give anyone money.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And we'll be right back.
How was your break?
Fine.
Good.
It was,
delightful.
a good break.
Garen, good break?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good break.
Good break. Okay, well, in the first half of the show, we talked about how to survive deception, and now we're going to talk about how to decide. We're going to talk about how to survive deception when you're the deceptive one with Chris Grace.
Oh.
Hi, Chris.
Hello.
Welcome back.
What was what
a
a
twist.
yeah, a head turn. That was like a Columbo type.
Did you just realize it was Chris Grace?
Yeah, I didn't realize.
Oh, wait, before we start, I do want to plug that Chris Grace's fantastic show. Is it called Chris Grace is Scarlett Johansson?
Chris Grace as Scarlett
Johansson. You can now see on dropout.tv.
Correct. You can do a 3-day trial. You can watch it for free, essentially. You just need to give me your email.
Okay, and it's really good. I saw it live and in person, both, and it was fantastic. So I recommend you do that.
Yeah, please watch it. And if you've seen it live, it's kind of it's different in the on-camera version in a way that I think it's very fun.
Oh, okay. So what is your deceptive story or a story of deception?
Well, so I was the web developer at the Metropolitan Transportation Authority, otherwise known as the MTA, which runs all of the public transit in New York City.
Oh, yeah.
And Long Island and wherever Metro North Railroad goes, which is like upper in New York, like Westchester and all that stuff. So I was like in charge of all of the web for the MTA, which is crazy.
I didn't know you had these skills.
Yeah, I mean, like right out of college, I learned how to do websites, and basically I sort of ended up in this job where I was like the assistant to the person who was in charge of all this stuff, and then they retired, and I got promoted, and I was like in charge of, like technically in charge of like the entire website for the MTA.
Okay.
For maybe like 2 to 3 years. So when I got promoted, I had to hire someone to be my old position. Basically,
Right.
it was the main, like second in command of the department. So this is mostly a story about what to do when you are severely double booked.
Oh.
And don't want to tell either party
Okay.
that you have a problem.
Yes.
This is a, wasn't there oh no, it was Gidget. Sorry. I'm going
Yeah,
even
this is
older
this
references
is an
when
old-
she had 2 dates. She had
Basically.
yeah. I was thinking of the Brady Bunch, but I don't know if that ever happened on the Brady
Yeah,
Bunch.
I was on the beach.
Probably
I think I did.
Oh, I'm sure I'm Brady Bunch. Brady Bunch wasn't Cindy like the web developer for?
Yes, I think that's what it is. But the red eye made her very nervous.
Yes, and then they broke that statue and they had to glue it all back together. Or something.
Yes, and then Jan did not put her glasses on.
That's right. At the same time, I was doing stand-up, improv comedy, and acting.
Mm-hmm.
When I say acting, it was mostly like going out for commercials.
Okay.
And I was doing pretty well. Now, I don't know why. Partly because I think I hated my bosses at this job, but I never ever told them that I was an actor.
Okay.
I worked there from 2002 to 2010.
Okay.
And not once did I ever mention that I was an actor, even while I was like on commercials, like that people had
They're like
seen.
running in the room you're on the TV.
Commercial for the MTA. I don't know why. I think part of it was I didn't want to. I felt like I was like protecting a part of myself. Like I was very reticent. I might not even ever said that I was gay there. Not because I wasn't out of the closet, but I just didn't want them to ever have access to my personal life for some reason.
Okay.
Or my professional life. I guess my professional life was me working at that job.
Right. Your other professional life.
Yeah, my other one. I just hated them so much. I just didn't want to ever talk about it. Occasionally, I would run into these conflicts of like, wow, this would be a real time problem if I got this job.
Yes.
Yeah.
With this day job. Because the day job was 10 a.m. to 6 every day. It's a government job, very regimented.
Right.
Everyone just like, as soon as 6 o'clock goes, everyone's gone.
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
Right.
You know, there's like everyone is
Can you
just
stay
there.
late and
I mean, everyone
Yeah.
is there to get their pension. Basically.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, they were talking, like I started that job when I was, it was 2002, 16? No, whatever age I was, in my 30s or
Yeah.
whatever. Like, being a person in your 30s and early 40s and people around you are all just talking about your pension
Yes.
and how you should protect your pension.
Right.
Yes.
Even when I quit in 2010, I cashed out my pension because it was like $1,800 or something.
Oh my God.
And my boss was like, "You really shouldn't do that. When you retire at 62, you're gonna really," because it penalized what the
Accumulates,
pension
yeah.
was. I was like, "That is decades away.
Yeah.
If when I'm 62, I need $1,800, I'm gonna be in a very bad
Something has
position."
gone wrong,
yeah,
right.
yeah. So basically, I was always like kind of juggling, like, and so I'd go to auditions on lunch or whatever, and then if I book a commercial, I would just like take a vacation day,
Right.
go shoot it, and like this worked for years,
Okay.
pretty well. Like, I would just take people did take long lunches there. Basically, everyone didn't want to be there, so
Yeah.
like you show up at
Yes.
10. By the way, I had to be there at 10 a.m. I was brought in multiple times because I was late all the time.
Oh my God. And you didn't have to be there till 10.
10 a.m. Like I would show up at like 10:45 a lot.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I was
You were pushing-
never officially disciplined, but I was brought into the big boss's office like 3 times to be like, "What's going on?" And I'd just be like, "Yeah, I know. Well, I'm trying." So I book a spec commercial.
So explain what that is.
I'm not even sure what this is.
Okay.
I think they filmed an ad agency filmed an entire commercial, full on production, to make a pitch to get a campaign with Trident gum.
Okay.
I guess that's what a spec commercial. I mean, it was a
That
full
sounds,
production.
that sounds like a good
I
explanation.
think that's right.
But I didn't know
it
that
sounds-
happened,
It
but-
sounds
Yeah.
crazy, but it's like we don't have the business yet. We're going to shoot an entire commercial with a full cast
To get a commercial.
to get the
Yeah.
job.
Wow.
It's
So
how
that's what-
writers write screenplay. Like, you have
Yeah,
to write
I mean,
it to show you can do it.
Writing it makes sense though,
Yeah.
but like this sounds crazy. Anyway,
Yeah.
it was a spec commercial for Trident gum. It was shot at now defunct comedy club Comics with an X
Oh.
in Manhattan, which was in Chelsea. Oh, my office for the job was Madison and 44th Street. So East Side. This is Comics, which is the West Side, which is now near an Apple store. So basically, they're not that close to each
Okay.
other. And there's not a good subway to get from one to the
Okay.
other. So I booked this commercial. And so I tell the person who's working for me, his name's Eric. I say, hey, Eric, Tuesday, I need to take a vacation day. So can you just make sure you're in Tuesday? Because basically, as long as one of us is there, it totally is fine. Like,
Okay.
just one of us needs to be there because a train gets delayed. They have to post something. Somebody needs to be there to, like, post this stuff. Which is all great. It's going to work.
Let's just hope it doesn't happen between 10 and 10:45 because people of New York City are fucked.
Yes. So, well, I could just say that's why I was getting there late for the
Very
same,
good.
you know. So Monday night, Eric calls me, and he says, "Hey, my wife's grandfather died, and we have to go tomorrow to this like service type thing that we're having, and we really have to do it." She was really close to her grandfather. Like, can I know you asked for the day off, but can you please cover for me so that I can go to this
Oh my God.
And I really like Eric. I'm still friends with him. I think he's great. And I was just like as a boss, I think I could have just been like, no.
Yeah.
I put in for this day off. I've already booked an entire wine country tour. I don't know. Whatever. Right? I think I could have said that, but I was just like, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
Go ahead and go. I'll
Yeah.
figure something out. So now this is my situation. On the Tuesday, I have to be at work at 10 a.m. to work a full day at being the web developer for the MTA, which, is it, out of all the websites I've ever worked on, probably the most crucial in terms of getting info out
really.
there.
Seriously.
This might actually paint me as being very derelict in my responsibilities. So then also a 9 a.m. call time
God.
for a full day shoot of a spec commercial for Trident across town. So I invite everyone, the three of you, and also people listening, to think about like what emotional state would you be in?
I was gonna say, like, what were you thinking? What did you think I can make this work?
I sort of did. I think maybe probably in the back of my mind I was like, well, if I got fired from the thing. But no, I mean,
If you get fired from your regular job?
regular job.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was the Trident commercial paying?
Oh yeah.
Because
Full-
sometimes those spec things for
Yes.
actors aren't paying.
No,
Right?
this
But
is a
was
paying
paying.
job.
Okay,
Yeah,
good,
paying
good.
job. And also, I'll give you the other context for the Trident commercial, which is in the commercial, you're going to be a stand-up comic performing at Comics, the comedy club. And here are the other people performing. Like, basically, it's going to be, we're filming it as if it was a full night of comedy.
Gotcha.
And the other ones are Jeff Hiller,
Okay.
who's a very funny actor, Jessica St. Clair,
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
very funny,
Yeah.
and John Mulaney.
Oh my
wow.
God.
This is, I think, before John Mulaney was like huge.
I'm guessing.
So basically, our job is we go in, we do like a 5 to 10 minute set
Of your
wait.
own material?
of our own with background actors as the audience.
Okay.
And then, although they've written like sample jokes for us, which I don't remember at all.
Yeah.
And then at the end of your set, you go. I can't believe it.
Oh no.
At the end of the set, no matter what the last joke is, you go like, well, I don't know. I'm just going to keep chewing.
Oh,
no.
And so all four of us, and I think that those are the four comics that did this thing. I remember John Mulaney doing like real material that I'd heard him do, and then him going like, I gotta keep chewing. I'm gonna keep chewing. And then there's like a neon sign of like Trident behind us. I think this was probably some weird part of ad agency era where, they're trying to like, are we like branding things in a more like cool way, or is this like supposed to go on social media?
But it's so funny that the premise is that every comic's catchphrase
Would
is
be that.
it's
Yes.
just so stupid.
I'm
It's
gonna
such a
keep
dumb
chewing.
premise.
Oh yeah. Maybe like in a way, I think this is like an early form of like branded content.
Okay.
Like I'm giving you like real stand-up jokes, and at the end, I don't know. I'm gonna keep
Oh
chewing.
my god. Okay, so you get there at 9.
I get there at 9. I check in, and so basically, this is my plan. So I already know ahead of time that I'm not really I'm called the entire day, but I'm not really needed the entire day.
Right.
Because what the shoot is we're going to shoot your like 5 minutes, and then you're off the rest of the, like, we just need you for the time when you're doing your stand-up set. Of course, the way these shoots go, you have to everyone's called at 9 a.m. no matter
Right.
what order
Yeah.
we're in.
Yeah.
Right.
And they want you to be nearby the entire day.
Of course.
Of course.
'Cause, like,
They own you
Yeah, I
for the
mean,
day.
yeah, that's the thing is like actors' time is like the least respected on the set,
Right.
Which is probably right. I mean, they just want the actors to be in like a room, like a cold storage freezer.
Yeah, right.
Just pull them out, have them act, and then just put them back in, just in case we want to shoot something else with you at the
Yeah.
end of the day or whatever. Which is, I guess, fair. Like they're sort of paying you to occupy you for the whole day.
Right.
So I go and check in. I get into wardrobe. I think I might have just had to bring my own wardrobe, which is fine because at the day job I can wear just business casual, right? Then I go to the like talk to them about like what the day. By the way, I also never told them either. So
Okay.
So I've never told my day job that I have a full day obligation somewhere else, and I never tell the people on set that I have.
Right.
'Cause I didn't- how would I even
they,
explain
right,
that?
because they would look at you like,
They
then
would
what
just
the fuck are
replace
you
me.
doing?
Yeah, they would
exactly.
just
Yeah.
replace me.
They'd be like, "Don't worry, we got someone else."
Yeah. So, so then I find out like basically this order that's happening, which is like we're going to start with I think like Jeff Hiller first, then Jessica St. Clair, and I'm sort of getting a sense of like I'm trying to get a sense of like how long does each chunk take.
Right.
So I'm sort of basically there from 9 to. And I'm already going to be late to my day job. Already established I get there 10:30, 10:45 some days. So I'm going to be there like 9 to 9:45 trying to get a lay of the land to see how the day on set is going to go.
Okay.
So it turns out that I might not be there till like after lunch or like I'm not going to be one of the early ones filmed.
Okay.
So then I take a cab from the comedy club to the day job. Which cost me like I don't know back then by like $19 or something
Right.
like not cheap.
You're
Yeah.
just chipping into your.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
My day session fee.
Yes.
So I take a cab to work, and then just go to work like, hey, I'm just here for the day, and then
Hey, Chris, why are you wearing your makeup?
Well, yes. Also, by the way, I have. I think this was the most difficult part of this, which was I just left the set. Like
So you
my
don't tell
God.
anybody there.
didn't tell anybody
This is
there.
so stressful.
So that is, I will say, in all of my years in show business, this single day is the most stressful day I've ever had.
Yeah.
Because it was mostly that the idea of leaving your dressing room on set, not telling us, like walking by 2 PAs and a first AD, and not telling them where you're going.
Yeah.
Just being like, oh, I'm just going to go look for a crafty or something. And then just leaving. They have my phone number, but like, I mean, I'm like watching just in case. Because
Right.
I guess my plan is if they call and say, where are you? I'm just like, oh, I just, like, I went
Stepped
next
out
door
for
to
a
get
cigarette, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So then I'll take the cab to work. I'm just like, hey, I'm here to do my job. Like, which is not,
You enter your office.
yeah.
Just here to do my job, guys.
Yeah.
Nothing to see here.
Most suspicious way to enter your day job. Especially for me, because I'm like always showing up late. They're just like, why is he here saying he was here to do his job?
I'm here to do my day job.
Nothing to see here.
So then I'm checking my emails. And like, I think like a lot of people's I've worked corporate day jobs for many, many years. So I don't think I'm out of pocket when I say that a lot of people's corporate day jobs have hours and hours of not working.
Yes.
Sure. Yes.
Like 8-hour workday. There were days where I could do all of the stuff I was supposed to do in like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like literally 20
Yeah.
minutes. And then part of, I guess I was sort of being paid for, which is just be around.
Yeah.
But like,
Right.
it would just be like me watching like E-Bombs World for hours. You know what I mean?
I think that's so many jobs.
Yeah, I think it's so many jobs.
So many jobs.
So, and this job is just like that too. There's lots of hours of slack in the 8 hours, right? So my hunch is that like I can sort of get what I need done and then leave in those hours of slack. So basically, I'm there from like 10:30 to like 11:15.
Oh my God.
Okay.
And then I'm like,
People have seen you.
people have seen me. Oh, and by the way, this is one of the only days probably at this job where I ever like walked around to people's cubicles. You know, like, hey, what's going on? Some fun stuff in the break room today, right? Just want to say again, I'm here to do my job. Just want to register my presence. I'll do some weird hand gestures. So you're like, whoa, that was weird. Remember that one day when Chris was like doing all those weird hand gestures? Yeah, he would, but it was weird, but he was definitely there.
That's the first time he's talked to us.
Go
I
get a
put in
snack.
a solid 45 minutes of work. I took the cab back to the set.
Unbelievable.
They're not even done with the first chunk.
Okay.
No one has noticed me. And also similarly on set, many hours of not doing anything.
Yes.
So basically, I've combined two great tastes that go great together. So then, the problem is that this is I think back then we didn't have like very good like phone or email. Like it would be hard for me to like do my job from my phone. Like I think now
Right.
I could like respond to emails now and probably do a lot of like coding. Even.
Yeah, you probably could.
You know, I could fix things from my phone now, but back then, all I had was like a Motorola Razr or something. I don't know what. So then I'm on set, and again, now I'm just waiting here. And actually, if you imagine being in this state where you have to be in two places at once, it's actually almost more anxious when you get there and nothing is happening.
Yeah.
Because you're
Yeah.
sort of thinking about what's happening at the other place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I could have stayed longer because they still
Right.
don't need me.
I could have made more of a presence, and also you're not doing anything active in the place that you're in.
Right.
So you're not really establishing yourself. Like now, I'm just in a trailer,
Right.
sitting doing nothing, the way I would if I was on set, just waiting. And so basically, they finished the first comic, and then Jessica St. Clair, I think, is up second, and then we're getting close to lunch on set. By the way, I'm still on lunch at the other day. Just stringing a series of lunches together. Which is,
Well, you're not lying. You did go get lunch.
I did go get lunch, yes. So then I make it to lunch on set to where they're like, okay, we have to like relight for Jessica. So you know what? That's all going to happen after lunch. So like sometimes they're getting close to lunch and they just kind of give up. They're like, let's just push it all, finish setting up. So then that's like, by the way, like on a set, they're not casual about how long the lunch is.
Right.
They're very much like when the last crew person goes in, they're like, an hour from now, like we're back in. Because money is, minute to minute money is way more important on set than it is at a corporate day job. So then I make it to lunch. And basically, as soon as they call lunch, I don't remember, but I guarantee that I still got my lunch on set. I was gonna say that like as soon as they call lunch, that I hopped in a cab back to the. I'm pretty sure I still went and got my little plate of
I think you did.
chicken tenders or whatever. Maybe I took it with me. Go back to the old job and go like, have you heard about this place on the west side? It's great.
It's called Dentine.
Yeah.
Or Trident, sorry.
So then they call lunch at the set. So I take a cab back to.
Oh my God. And
My
there's no
day
other
job.
way to get there.
No.
You have to pay for a cab.
So there
every time.
is. I mean, I could take subway up to Times Square and across, but I was so anxious about
course.
like
The time.
the time
You'd spend
and-
traveling, right?
Yeah,
So now you're at 20 there, 20 back, or is it 20 round trip?
it's 20 each way. 'cause
So
of
now you're at
traffic.
40, 60
Yeah.
dollars. Okay, I'm just.
Oh
wrap-
no. So here 20. Oh yeah, you're right. 20. I'm $60 going back to
Yeah.
Yes.
the day job.
Okay.
No one has noticed. And luckily, I don't have any meetings that day.
Okay.
So I come back and again do some emails.
Yep.
You know, go around.
Walk around the cubicles.
Well, back
waiting.
from lunch, here to do my job. just saying hello to like the photographer and the like graphic designers. Be like, oh, what are you working on? Oh, yeah.
my God.
Well, if you ever, today's not a good day.
Establishing your alibi.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah, it is sort of a crime-related behavior.
Yeah.
So yeah, luckily I have no meetings. I sort of just stay there I'm staying in 45-minute chunks at the day job. So
You actually probably did more work that day than you usually would do.
I did more work. I got more steps. I took more cab rides. So my memory is that I did this cycle 2 more times.
Oh my God.
Yes, because I was just kind of like anxiously like coming in, making an appearance, taking the cab back. I get back to set. They don't need me. I'm sort of like kind of.
Were you the last of the
I ended
four
up being
comics?
the last
Okay.
of the 4. But also, they don't take kindly to actors being like, so when am I going to be
Right.
up? Like,
Yes.
could you give me like a hard, like they're not interested in telling you.
You're not asking when your table's going to be ready at a restaurant.
Yes,
You can't
exactly.
do that. Yeah.
They're more just like, we will get to you and we get to you, sit in your
Yeah.
trailer.
Right.
Be invisible.
Right. So, I believe the second time I do this cycle, then I am up at set.
Oh, okay.
And I do my like stand up. I say, you know what? I gotta keep chewing. I'm just gonna keep chewing. Is what I said. And then the shoot went to like 7 or something. Like as they sometimes do, they'll go late. They're probably trying to get it all done in one day. The shoot went beyond my day job end time.
Oh my God.
So I just never went back to that
Right.
job that day. So
are you panicking like, oh my God, I'm going to be fired?
yeah, so then the next day I'm just wondering if anyone has caught on.
Like
Right.
they never noticed. They were like, he never came back and said, bye. It's the end of the day.
I mean,
Not working now.
From their perspective,
Yeah.
from the day job's perspective, they have a person who's chronically late
Yeah.
come in late,
Yes.
immediately announce, "Hey, I'm here to do my day
Yeah,
job."
yep.
And I said day job for some reason. Go disappear as they normally do,
Yeah.
and then around lunchtime, come back, loudly announce his presence, walk around to each cubicle, check on everyone's projects that he's never done before, not in departments he has any relationship to, and then no goodbye at the end of the night. Just a complete disappearance
Yes.
from 4 p.m. onwards. Was never seen again.
Yes.
And then and their response was nothing.
Yeah.
Come
yeah.
back the next day and they're just like, I mean, it does speak to the amount of like loose slack in the system that no one even noticed. I was probably at the day job a total of 4 45-minute sessions.
Wow.
In an 8-hour period. And also I was missing from set for hours as
Yeah.
well.
So no one caught on either way.
Either
Yeah.
side, no one ever caught on.
That's amazing.
Yes. And I felt like I was so physically stressed that I felt like I had like given myself TMJ by the end of the day. Just like, and also sitting in the cabs, going from like sitting in traffic. Also, the cab bill is going up as you're.
God.
So you're like,
Yeah.
am I paying to get myself fired? Kind of thing.
Yes.
So basically, it speaks to how insignificant I was in both of these situations. That the next day I came, the Trident thing went fine.
Okay.
Gotta keep chewing.
Was never picked up as an ad. And then went back to work the next day. My assistant Eric was back. Everything was normal. No one noticed anything.
Chris, that was a fantastic story.
Thank you.
So great.
I'm sweating from how nervous
Yes.
it made me, but it was
I do look back at that
amazing.
day as like whenever I go through other potentially stressful days related to this job, I think back at it like I made it through that day.
That's great.
And also, something that I take from that day sometimes is like, you know what? Sometimes, like many times in life, it just works out.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And you got super stressed. And I mean, did it work out because nothing like positive it worked out because of the neglect of 2 separate work environments.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also
Yeah.
like that's, I think a lesson is sometimes like people don't care about you that much.
They're all thinking about themselves.
Exactly.
That's the
Like-
saving grace of life. Like you can totally. I mean, you could probably murder someone.
Yeah.
That's what I take from your
mean,
story.
At both places.
You could have killed someone at both places and probably gotten away with it.
I mean, next time I come on the show, it'll be how my victims did not survive.
I mean, please tell us if you are going to murder someone. Please come and tell us.
That would be great, right? This becomes a true crime podcast all of a sudden.
Well, yeah, we talked about
it would
that
be great
earlier.
for our numbers.
We're looking for any excuse to do that. Yeah. Anyway, that really was fantastic story. Thank you so much.
Fun. Thank you so much, Chris.
And what will we be back with, Chris?
What did we learn today?
That's right.
Danielle,
Kristine.
would you like to learn what we learned today?
I would, and I do.
Little outrageous littles are suitable for kids. For kids.
Yes.
For kids. Aged 5 years and older, these collectible mini dolls come with various accessories, stickers, and other fun surprises. LOL dolls were essentially reverse engineered. The company wanted to cash in on the unboxing and collectibles trends, and so it came up with LOL dolls. MG Entertainment was told at first that kids needed to see a product before they would ask for it.
Interesting. Okay, that makes sense. I guess people don't go to stores anymore.
What made me insane when I did get these for Alex was how much plastic was involved. Everything is wrapped up separately, so it's so much waste.
That's
it just
aggravating.
really makes you sad.
Why can't they have loose LOLs?
Yeah,
Just loose.
they're all loose.
They are loose.
American Picker star Frank Fritz's longtime manager Bill Stanky,
Oh, that's
what a last name,
That's a crazy name.
said that the 60-year-old television personality died from complications from a stroke and was in hospice care. Fox News reported.
He was in hospice for a couple of years, I think.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, because he had a stroke.
Yikes.
I think he had left the show. Oh, maybe that's why he left the show. I mean, I haven't seen it in years and years and years, but
Yeah.
I do know that they replaced him with
Is
someone
that
else.
a show where they open storage container, like storage
Not
places? I know Storage Wars is a different
yeah, it's
thing.
not that. It's they'll go to like some guy's house in Pennsylvania and he'll have this crazy collection, and then he'll be like, "Wait a second, we have to go to the barn." And then there'll be like a whole more stuff in like a shed or a barn, and they literally they find stuff, and then they have a little store that they sell it to.
Okay. The idea that people look to the left when lying is a myth.
Ah, okay.
In fact, a University of Michigan study found that when participants lied, they maintain eye contact 70% of the time.
Interesting.
I'm lying right
Oh,
now.
I'm telling you the truth.
And on that note, I think we'll wrap this up.
All right.
Thank you to our talented listeners.
Thank you, listeners who are talented.
We appreciate you. And until next time, remain calm.